Hey, Nicole Huntsman here from moderncosmic.com. We have got our sun sign compatibility here on this video. Cancer Sun. So Cancer, these are our folks born from June 21st through July 22nd. Cancer is traditionally the crab. That's the animal that we've used as the symbol for Cancer. I like to think of a turtle. I think a turtle is a more apt symbol because with the turtle, yes, the Cancer does have a little bit of a crunchy outer shell, right? And they like to pull themselves in when it's time to withdraw if they're in a situation where they feel threatened. But ultimately, it's also because they kind of carry their home around on their back. Cancer types are nostalgic. They have a hard time getting rid of things, whether it's things, objects, or old lovers or old friends. They hold on to the people or the things or the thoughts, even the values that they consider important and that they have placed high on their, ladder of personal values or people that have made an impact on their heart. So with Cancer, you've got an individual who's interested in security. That's why they, with objects or money, they're good savers. A lot of times it's because they're trying to create this safe space in their life, all right? It's their womb. We associate Cancer with the home. We associate Cancer with, it's more of an introverted expression. Okay, so Cancers, a lot of times, if you had a pure Cancer, this is someone very sensitive and they are intuitive about where someone else is at emotionally, and they won't necessarily say anything. A lot of times they'll just see you and they'll notice you, and perhaps they're like sponges. They'll take things in, they'll take information in without you really maybe even knowing that they're taking it in, and then it will come back out later. They'll see you sort of repeat a pattern and they'll see, oh, okay, this person's experiencing this, and they'll come give you a hug, or they will touch you, or they will offer to make you a meal, or this is a Cancer thing. They're really sensitive to noticing these patterns in other people's emotional behavior. On the high side with Cancer, we've got someone who is sensitive to others. We've got someone who does have a strong ambition. Their desire to create security feeds their drive. It feeds their career ambitions many times. You've got someone warm and affectionate. They have a nostalgic kind of nature to them. They can be sentimental in a way, so it depends on, of course, the entire chart, but a lot of times Cancers, they're pack rats in a way, whether it's that they collect a certain okay, so for example, my mom, she's a gardener, and she plants anywhere she's lived, that she's always had these beautiful flowers and whatnot, and she kind of collects plants. She collects them and puts them around her, and makes this little plant home, and then she of course takes care of them. That's very Cancer, that hobby of hers. And then my boyfriend, for example, when he travels a lot for work. He'll keep his flight. His flight tickets or his receipts, and he'll use them in his books as little bookmarkers, and they're little mementos to remind him of the trip, and they're also something he's keeping physically around him. So that's kind of Cancer high side, but they're little pack rats in a way. But there's a nostalgic quality or sentimental nature to it. They also are really great at, as I said earlier, recognizing needs. They have this mothering instinct, this desire to make you feel better and to give you love and to take care of you. And in particular, if you're sick or if you're, just sad, emotionally having a hard time, that really pains them. They want to make you feel better. On the low side with the Cancer, they can be, because they're, like I said, there's this introverted expression of their life force. They can sometimes appear to be aloof or cold or standoffish. And they kind of are. Remember, like the crab with his little shell and his pinchers, he's like, ah. But really, a crab on the inside is mush, right? So they're protecting. They sometimes will stand back and sort of hang back, see if they're safe and secure in a situation, and then they'll interject themselves. So they have there's an introversion there of their self-expression. They can sometimes withdraw from conflict. A lot of the water signs, when there is heavy-duty fighting or a conversation that needs to happen that's not a comfortable conversation, water signs can sometimes withdraw. They check out, they back off, and they move away from the fight. Even if you have someone that's quite aggressive in other ways, they can sometimes, when their personal values are crossed, you know, like in work and things like this, they can sometimes pull back and be a little passive aggressive. So that's something that Cancers, you know, are known for. And it's almost because it's like they don't want to be hurt also, of course, but it's also they pull back from the fight a little bit, and then they have to kind of regather themselves, and then many times they'll come back. In a relationship with a Cancer, you just have to, if sometimes they do just need that time too where they're introverted and they're doing their own thing. So just let them do it, and they'll come back out. They'll turtle their heads back out. Also, they can be a little bit slow to open up. It also goes with the need for security. They can be moody, they can be broody like a broodmare, you know, kind of goes along with the motherly aspect. They have times in their life where they need to introvert, pull back, and just, you know, be to themselves so they can process things. And just let them do it, they'll come back out. So, Cancer in love. Now, Cancer is our zodiac sign that is sort of the most in flux. It's ruled by the moon, and our moon is constantly changing in our sky every couple of hours even, right? It's moving, and I mean, it's changing every second. It's moving to some degree every second. So Cancer is the same. Cancer, and because also think of the moon, how we can see one side of the moon and the other side is in total darkness. This is like the Cancer's emotional nature in a sense. There's a polarity there. There's an up and down nature to it. There are times when the Cancer just really needs to, as I said earlier, they need to be inside of themselves, okay? Now, a Cancer with a really good partner, a good partner would be someone that recognizes that and protects that in the Cancer. And my boyfriend, who's Cancer, has a quote that I love, and I'm gonna ruin it, but it's something about when you love someone, it's your job, it's your duty to protect the solitude of the partner. And that is the perfect quote for a Cancer to hold as their ideal quote about what ideal love looks like. It's your job to protect your partner's space and their feelings, and also it's your job to provide them with a little womb where they can truly open up and emotionally give you what they have to give and receive what you have to give to them. They are very deep people, and their ability to love can be overwhelming. Even for, or I should say astounding is a better word. It can be astounding because it's really strong and deep, like the ocean, which is one of Cancer's rulerships. So Cancers, their expectations in love. Cancers are interesting. So while they have that introversion need, they also really enjoy having their partner physically around them. Whether they're kind of at home or just like running errands, they like being with their partner. There is a comfort there to having that other person physically close to them. It's a grounding kind of a comfort, and it's home. It's like they're home. So at home, obviously, being with you, but then also just going out and doing things together. That's something they enjoy because it's like taking their little home with them. Remember, they're sentimental. They like to hold on to things. And so if you're their partner that they love, then they'll want to like be with you. They'll want to have you with them. Okay. All right. Edit. So safety and security is also really important to the Cancer. They expect their partner to be loyal and to be devoted to them. And it's interesting, jealousy from a Cancer is different than you'd see from perhaps an Aries or like a fire sign like a Leo. Jealousy in all the signs is different. That would actually be a good video. That'd be an interesting video series. Jealousy in a Cancer, it comes more from hurt feelings. It's more like, I gave you all of this. I gave you all of me, and now I feel like you took advantage of that and have been focusing your directions elsewhere, you know. So they want to feel like it's safe for them to love you, and it's safe for them to accept your love in return, and that you're not going to hurt them once you're inside their little soft, mushy, you know, places. Cancer's biggest fear, you know, Cancer, they're moody, they're emotionally deep, and they sometimes go to dark places. It's really common for Cancer Suns even, you know, Cancer mood even more so. There's an emotional depth there. This is the part of them that's vulnerable, and it's the part that they may worry may be unlovable, okay? That it's too much for someone else to have to deal with, or that they're not sure they just even want you to be in there because it just feels vulnerable and scary and like they're exposed. So their fear is that that's ultimately unlovable. If course, it's completely incorrect. You know, we're all lovable. So with your Cancer, just be tender with them and make sure that they know that you appreciate the things that they do for you, and that you show them in return through your actions that you love them. Okay. Capricorn Sun sign. So Capricorn, this is December 22nd through January 19th. These are the goats. Now, when you think of Capricorn, I want you to think of an earthy individual. What does that mean? So when you're earthy, that means the earth is something you can see. You touch it, taste it, throw it, make something out of it. That's earth. It's here, practical. It's in the sensory reality that we experience here in this three-dimensional world, this three-dimensional space. Capricorn is like the king of this place. This is a sign ruled by Saturn. Saturn traditionally is Kronos, the god of time. Kronos also is the father who eats his children because, as you know, the mother births us and introduces us to this mortal world. Thanks, Mom. And then that also means she kills us through introducing us to our father, Saturn, Kronos, right? Who is going to eventually eat us. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Yum. Okay. So Capricorn types are serious folks, practical folks. Even if you've got a fun Capricorn, there's a quality to them that realizes the realities of life. This is why with business, they're good at creating a plan, working a plan, planning your work, working your plan. Okay, that's Capricorn. They're practical. They're here. They realize the vicissitudes of life and they're willing to plan accordingly. Now, with love and romance, when you've got a sun sign that has to do with, practicality, it's kind of not that sentimental. It's cold, detached energy. Capricorn is a colder, more detached energy. It is one that is focused on business. It's all business. All right. So you're going to look at the rest of this chart, unless you're also a Capricorn. And remember, your sun sign is how you sort of operate your life. All right. So you could have someone who's quite emotional and sweet and loving, but they're Capricorn Sun, but they've got for example, I've got a client, Capricorn Sun. He has a Cancer Moon, great businessman, fantastic at setting it all up and making money and making it work, but his heart is really soft and sweet. He's very tender and loving to the people that are close to him, and so your sun sign is how you outwardly operate and express your ego. So in a love relationship, Capricorns are the types, because they're earth, they're here to build something. They are not interested in dating just to kind of screw around. You'd have to have a lot of air signs or air energy or Uranian energy on that sun or moon to make this a person who's really flighty. For the most part, Capricorn, they're wanting to build something. So in relationship, they're quite traditional. Their ultimate end game is they want a partnership, and they want it with someone who is excellent. They have a high standard. They are looking for, if you look at the birth chart, when you look at the zodiac, how it naturally falls on the wheel, you've got Capricorn at the very top, that 10th house. That's the Capricorn house in Western astrology, in the 10th house. It's different in Vedic. It's shaped differently, but anyway. So 10th house there at the top, and this is a cardinal house. This is the house that has to do with how we appear in the world around us. So status is a thing that's important to Capricorns, even if you've got a pretty, it depends on their other, obviously things on their other planets, where the other planets are placed, but they'll be interested in status, whether it's nice clothing or a nice home or a job that's important, or they're seen as important, or doing something that's serious work. There's a discernment and a defining quality to Capricorn that they will apply to how they approach life. High function Capricorns, you've got someone who is focused, driven, there's an ambition there, there's a loyalty to Capricorn. 10th house is an earth sign. There's a nature where it likes to it'll be pickier though about the friends that they'll let in many times. If you've got someone who's pure Capricorn, remember this is pure Capricorn, and it can be within female Capricorn, sometimes you can see like a bitchiness or like that's not good enough for me kind of a thing, which is great. I love it. Be picky. There's pickiness. There's a pickiness to Capricorn men as well, actually. They have an idea of what they're looking for, and they're not going to waste their time going down roads that are inefficient and impractical. That doesn't make any sense to them. So they desire intimacy as well with a partner, because so much of Capricorn is in this sort of serious, sometimes cynical place. A partner who has a sweetness, who is very real and practical and here and grounded, but sweet, really appeals to a Capricorn, especially Capricorn. That's goes in both directions, but they're traditional and conservative, and so Capricorn male many times will like a female that is feminine, and Capricorn's quite masculine energy. It's like the general, it's the goat, but I think of it as the general, someone in charge, they've got a mission, they've got a crystallized plan in their head, and they're bringing it from their brain out into the world around us. And so they naturally makes them good leaders. Many times they're good at following rules or being the bureaucracy that creates the rules. And this can even be like a stay-at-home mom. She would be quite have her idea of how things should be run in the home, and be kind of systematized and organized with the way that she would run her home. That would be Capricorn. They're also solid and grounded. There's a grounded practicality. Again, it's that earthy dutifulness comes with Capricorn as well. So with a low function Capricorn, you've got someone who can be a little picky. There is a discernment there, and there's an understanding of quality, whether it's a quality of a human being, quality of a product, quality of the way a business is being structured and run. They can see when something does not meet their standards of what it should be meeting. Okay, so they're the rule makers many times. They're the ones that have a hard time then when other people are breaking the rules. They can be judgmental of others and also if you've got a really conservative Capricorn, so we're saying like a pure Capricorn, they can be annoyed with iconoclasts, so with people who kind of go against the grain of what the status quo has suggested you should be doing. They don't like that. They can be cold and a little bit distant, and sometimes place practicality or the system or the mechanics to how you're going to make something happen, the plan, over the emotions of the people that are involved in the plan or the mechanizations of the organization or this kind of thing. They can be a little bureaucratic, and you can apply that in a relationship as well. But at the same time, they also show up. They're showing up, so they want you to show up as well. So sometimes you have to follow the plan and the system so that everyone shows up the way they're supposed to, if that makes sense. They can be workaholics. They can sometimes place work over pleasure. They can be, and that can make them be stick in the mud sometimes. They can be a little boring if you had a pure Capricorn. This is me. I have a fire moon, so what do I know? But they can be a little, just serious. They can be serious. And they can also sometimes struggle with emotional expression. Look at the moon. That's very important, especially Capricorn moon or someone whose moon making aspect to Saturn or is in the 10th house. They will have emotional control issues where they want to control their emotions. When emotions come out, they want to restrict it. They want to put rules on it and keep it in check, put reins on it. That can happen a little bit with Capricorn Sun, but that's more just how they sort of live their life. They'll be structured in the way that they live their life. Capricorn in love. So you got this personality type that has a seriousness to them. And the way they approach things is with a sort of seriousness, like I can get this done, I can make this happen, make this work. And in love, they do the same thing. In business and in other parts of their life, they're able to get shit done. So in their relationship, they think they should also be able to get shit done and they should make it work. So sometimes if you have a Capricorn who's in an unrequited love situation, that's going to be really frustrating because usually they can get things to work the way that they want them to work. So, but when they're in a relationship where everything's good, you've got a partner you are the partner, the Capricorn, who wants foundation, who wants to build something together. They want a serious long-term commitment. They want to know that there's reliability there on both ends. Ultimately, Capricorn in that 10th house is opposite the 4th house, moon, Cancer, 4th house, which is the home. They would not have purpose without the 4th house. So a Capricorn ultimately needs home. They need their partner. They need to know that all the work they're doing is feeding this place, ultimately, the mother, the home, the family. Because that's ultimately where they're going to get their safety and security from. You see, it's like a loop. These two need one another. So if you have someone who is single, who's got strong Capricorn in their chart or strong 10th house placements in their chart, and they don't have a partner, they don't have a grounded sense of home, you'll have an individual who's all work and perhaps no play, and they focus all their energy on work, and ultimately it's going to lead to a life of probably not feeling totally fulfilled because their purpose to be seen and to create status will never really truly be witnessed by anyone who is intimately involved with them. So that's a side note. But Capricorns in love, they need to feel like they've got that partnership, they've got that home and that soft place. And as romantic partners, they're dependable and lovable or loving. They take it seriously. They take their relationship seriously. So they are good partners. Capricorn's expectations in love. They expect loyalty, and they expect fidelity, loyalty, a certain sort of respect. Capricorn men want to take care of the people they love because that's what they know how to do. So many times they are, it's quite traditional where they have a wife or a girlfriend or someone that they care for, they financially take care of. Capricorn females, on the flip, many times you'll see them being attracted to men who are powerful, or they themselves will be career women. You got to look at the whole chart, of course, but if you've got a 10th house sun, no matter what the sign, it could be Pisces. This is a female who needs to be doing something ambitious with her career and may have a hard time sometimes finding home. And it's the same thing with a Capricorn woman. She may look for home in places where she's not truly in love. This can be a placement, Capricorn females, especially if you've got a 10th house Capricorn sun, there's a desire for status, for being important in life. And so they'll do that with the partner sometimes, or through their career, which becomes their partner. They become married to their career. I see that a lot in 10th house sun placements. But also Capricorn in love, they're very affectionate and they're lusty. This is the horny goat, this is a lusty, earthy sign. And as far as Capricorn Venus and Capricorn Mars, these are people who have some staying power to their sexuality. They're earthy and sensual and in the body and kinky, but in a really earthy, down dirty kind of a way, because it's earth. And they'll be the types too in love where they want to impress their partner. They want to do it right. They're really worried about that. If they want to do it the best of, it's Capricorn. They're the best lover you've ever had. So they'll have to prove that to you. Capricorn's expectations of love, they require loyalty and they require respect and admiration. They also require, I think I already did this, didn't I? Okay, I did. Okay. Capricorn's biggest secret fear would be they're afraid of failing and as seen as such. So Capricorns are afraid of being seen as big losers, They're not here to be losers. They're here to be successful and to be of high status, however that may play out, depending on, again, Moon and Venus placement and where that sun is placed. Whatever it is that they do, they're going to do it with a certain level of excellence, or at least they'll feel most happy when they're operating from a place of excellence and doing it the right way. Remember, status quo is also important, looking to the past, how things were done in the past, and doing it the same or better, not necessarily changing the way it's been done, but just improving upon the way it's been done. That's Capricorn. And they'll feel if they're unable to meet that, they'll feel a sense of failure, and that for them is a big fear, to be seen as someone who needs charity or somebody who is this little person who merits pity. That's a bad place for Capricorn. They don't want to be there. So admire Capricorn, see them for all their strengths, build them up, and you will be well on your road to happiness. Okay. Cancer and Capricorn. All right, we've got two opposite signs here. We've got Cancer, our water sign. It's a cardinal sign, and we've got Capricorn, which is it's our earthy cardinal sign. These two are on the axis, I call it the axis of security, or the axis of the inner and the outer world. Cancer being the inner world, Capricorn being the outer world. Now, these are kind of a natural pairing. My grandma and grandpa were a Cancer Capricorn partnership, and they had 8 kids, big Catholic family, and seemed to me to be very happy. My grandfather passed away early, but they seemed to have a really happy marriage, and from other people's accounts, they were, soulmates, and my grandma hasn't since remarried, and it's been, 20 years or something. So there's a natural attraction here. It's the mother and the father archetypes coming together, especially when you've got a female Cancer and a male Capricorn. It's a very natural, magnetic draw. These two will want to come together and create family and create home together, create some sort of stability in each other's lives. Long-term interaction between these two should be quite harmonious. You do have this inner world home life versus career outer life that could be a little bit of a challenge. These two people will most likely want to have pretty clearly delineated gender roles in their marriage, unless you've got a bunch of Uranian or if you've got Uranus conjunct suns or moons, or making aspects to suns or moons, or if you've got, Aquarian things happening or 11th house things happening, then that's going to shake this up a bit, because they're going to want to do relationship, but they're going to want to do it in a way that's unconventional. So you got to look at the whole chart, the synastry chart. I mean, look at each individual chart and then the synastries between the two to really get a clear picture about how this will play out. But overall, the two personality types want to create structure, stability, security for one another. So that's harmonious. So with that, with opposites, there can come misunderstandings at times, or there can come, you're mirroring one another. So you are seeing in your partner the things about yourself that you maybe don't love. And those might be the things that you pick on, that you nitpick on with your partner, when really you just need to do your inner work. So that could be an issue between these two. Cancer can be emotional, overly sensitive from the Capricorn's perspective.